Am I the asshole for not being welcoming to a new neighbor that has made me uncomfortable? Throwaway. I, 35F, live in a small condo building in a large southern city. We are all friendly and have spent a lot of time together over the last 10 months. The majority of us work from home and text throughout the day. One owner decided to move out and listed her unit for rent. The following events have all happened with the new tenant. 1. I went to throw away trash in the dumpster outside our building. I discover 2 masked men using a flashlight to look into our utility closet. I ask what they are doing and they advise that they are there to tour a unit and looking for stairs. The utility closet does not look like an entrance, it is covered in lattice, and has no light. I ask them to leave as that was not an entrance. I inform the hoa. We purchase a combination lock for the utility closet. 2. A few weeks later, we are informed that the unit has been rented. I again go to throw away trash and a male, mid-20s, gets out of a car and tells me they are the new tenant and need the code to access the entrance. I told him to contact his landlord for the code. I am uncomfortable providing it since I did not know who they were. They proceed to block me and tell me they need the code. They want to move items in. I can trust them, and just give it to them. I am extremely uncomfortable as I am alone in a parking lot with a man that I have told no to, and who is not listening to no. I finally relent, walk to the front door, and enter the code. He commented he wouldn't look at me entering the code since it was such a secret. I ignore his comment, walk away, and inform our text chain of these events. 3. A few days later, at the end of the workday, I get up to close my blinds as it is dark out and my lights are on. This new tenant is standing on the other side of the window staring into my unit. One of my male neighbors has become friendly with this tenant and tells him that I do not like him, and lists the reasons above. This male neighbor has called me a bitch and said I should be friendlier and I am making the new tenant feel unwelcome. I explained that as a woman, this man has made me uncomfortable and I have no obligation to be friendly with him. As he is a tenant, he is not on any HOA emails and should be communicating with his landlord, standard practice in our building for tenants. The female neighbors in the building all agree with me, and have stated my feelings are valid. Our building is clearly divided on this issue, with the men telling the women to be more welcoming, and the women explaining to the men that women do not have to be friendly with anyone that they choose not to be friendly with. I am constantly being told I am being a bitch by the male neighbor friendly with the new tenant. The new tenant has now left a bottle of wine and card at my door and I want to place them back at his door and continue to not communicate with him. Am I being the asshole in this situation?
Not the asshole. Here you have a standard clash between women feeling unsafe and men insisting on their right to make them feel that way. Your feelings are valid. Furthermore, you have no obligation whatsoever to be friendly with _anyone _. The men who are siding with the new neighbor are, collectively, the tush. Not the asshole. Nobody has the right to make you feel unsafe or otherwise threatened. Especially in your own home. Have you spoken to his landlord, the owner of his unit? I assume the two of you are somewhat friendly.
Not the asshole. Read The Gift of Fear. There's a very good reason you feel uncomfortable around this person. Protect yourself. Frankly, with what you have described, I am scared for you.
Not the asshole. You are under no obligation to be welcoming and friendly to someone who was so aggressive with you and who demanded you give him the code to your building to let him inside when he was a complete stranger to you. Why wouldn't he just call the landlord instead of targeting you and forcing you to do it instead? And then to discover him standing at your window just staring at you is very frightening. This guy sounds like a total creep and you're right to stay away from him.
Not the asshole. You don't owe these people shit. It's an wa, not a family. And even then I would argue you don't have to put up with family either. That said, you don't have to be friends or friendly, but he did drop off wine as what I gather is a peace offering. Give the wine to someone who wants it and try to move one. But keep a taser pepper spray on you. Not the asshole. This man has cornered you in a parking lot at night against your will and stood outside your apartment window in the dark. What the fuck are your male neighbors on about that they think this is in any way acceptable behavior? I would just keep reiterating that short story anytime someone brings up not being friendly to him. Not the asshole, and the fact he left you a bottle of wine creeps me out even more for some reason. I would photograph it, then place it back in front of his door. Don't even bring it inside. He is forcing his way into your life, just keep ignoring him. Not the asshole. Men to women, be friendly and welcoming to strangers. Woman gets raped by stranger. Men to women, well, you shouldn't have been so friendly and welcoming to strangers.
Not the asshole. Anyone who pressures you for a combo is not a good person. There is a sense of power involved in doing that to a stranger that should have everyone's red flags up. Not the asshole. Dude was being creepy, especially since he was staring inside your home. I'm sorry, but no normal person just stares into their neighbor's window. Guys don't understand stuff like this because it doesn't happen to them. I'd inform your landlord about all this so they at least have a record or something of this dude being creepy.
Not the asshole. I would see what the card says but not open the bottle and maybe leave it outside your door rather than going back. Don't give in unless the H sincerely apologize. People like this don't care unless they are enabled to feel good about their actions. Maybe I'm speaking as a female, but don't talk to this guy alone and only with someone you trust if you have to talk to him. You don't really owe him an explanation to make him feel better. Just be prepared to also have this be a thorn in your side until something happens. If you're really scared, I recommend cameras facing outside if you believe the staring is habitual. Doubt Wah can say anything about a camera in your own place yet. Not the asshole. Why is preferable for a woman to sacrifice feeling safe for fear of being rude? Listen to your gut. Who the F cares if some idiot neighbors think you are a bitch anyway? Better to be a safe bitch than a raped, molested, murdered nice girl. I hope my daughter knows to tell people to fuck off if she feels unsafe. Who cares about them? Look after yourself. Let me in, you can trust me? Okay there Ted Bundy, I don't think so. Don't accept the poison wine. Not the asshole. Men will never understand the fear and awareness women have about people, places, situations. It's just not on their radar. Protect yourself and don't back down. Your new neighbor is completely inappropriate, and other neighbor is a complete asshole for calling you a bitch, weird aggression, and for invalidating your feelings. Note any interaction with these two, record him calling you a bitch, and bring it to the WA.
Not the asshole. You are not the one to give the code to a new tenant, exactly for the reasons you described. You also do not have to be friendly with the new tenant now, but you could be civil. Returning the gift he left for you is a rather aggressive move and will not help diffuse the situation, so that might not be the wisest thing to do. Briefly thanking him for the wine when you cross paths next time most definitely doesn't mean you have to keep talking to him after.
Not the asshole. Those people are tush with men privilege. Of course they won't understand. They don't have to live their entire life in fear.
Not the asshole. Anyone who thinks calling someone a BTCH will magically make them want to be nicer is an idiot.
Our building is clearly divided on this issue, with the men telling the women to be more welcoming, and the women explaining to the men that women do not have to be friendly with anyone that they choose not to be friendly with. I wonder why that could be. Not the asshole. You aren't a bitch, you have boundaries. It's not your fault your neighbor was never taught the difference.
Not the asshole. He made you uncomfortable, so you don't have to be nice to him.
Not the asshole. You are under no obligation to have a relationship with anyone if you don't want to. Especially this guy who clearly doesn't understand what no means, and all his other creepy gestures. It's not your job to make him feel welcome even if he was the nicest guy on the planet. He should mind his business and worry about not making other people feel uncomfortable. Ugh. It's disgusting and sounds like a power play and super manipulative and childish and just all around bad behavior.
Not the asshole, and tell your male neighbor to F off.
Not the asshole. You aren't obligated to be nice to anyone. Even if you're a woman. Even if you're in the South. Their behavior was incredibly sketchy and I don't blame you for acting this way. Especially after he was found staring into your place.
Not the asshole. Good for you for standing your ground.
NTA. I am a man and that would be super uncomfortable for me. This behavior is extremely creepy.
Not the asshole. Even if he was a genuinely friendly guy and didn't do any of these creepy things, you don't have to welcome him into your life. What did the card say?
Not the asshole. Any guy worth a damn would have stopped at the part where this asshole blocked your way past and demanded the entrance code, and known they're not nice guys. If they really were in a bind, they should have asked you nicely with a proper introduction and some goddamn humility about inconveniencing a stranger because they weren't prepared. Maybe the guy was rushed and cranky and stressed that day, but that would mean if he were normally an okay dude, he'd also apologize after for being a dick and acted accordingly ever after. That doesn't seem to be the case. This dude sounds like a serial killer. Seriously though, between the gaslighting and the refusal to respect someone's boundaries, this guy sounds like bad news. Not the asshole, and personally if he keeps up his creepy peeping Tom act, one would notify the authorities and move out ASAP. Women are conditioned in our society to be nice, but too often nice gets us killed. Be an unapologetic bitch if he's going to behave that way.
They were staring into your unit? You need a security camera and to start documenting any future interactions in addition to the prior runs. Not the asshole. Please protect yourself. Report these instances and return the gift.
It's ridiculous how he is like, be nice to me, bitch. How does he feel so much more superior? Not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. I would personally place the bottle back on his doorstep. You don't know if there's been any sort of tampering with it. Or if he did something gross to like jizzed on the bottle and wiped it down. You can't trust people nowadays.
Pretty sure staring into your unit counts as a peeping Tom and you can call the cops for that.
Music score. Don't be polite to men who creep you out. Musical note. Drum. Don't be polite to men who creep you out. Piano sax. Musical notes. Musical note. Don't be polite to them. Musical notes. Trumpet. It's not your job to comfort men. Drum. Music score. Don't be polite to men who creep you out. Violin. Drum. 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 Sing to the tune of, If You're Happy and You Know It.
Not the asshole. Please inform a family member or a few and some friends. Leave a trail of texts or communication where this behavior you're talked about. This is beyond creepy. If you have a male family member you feel comfortable being with you for a few days or to talk to them, both do it. Get yourself some self-defense weapons and a pointy keychain object. Set up a apartment discussion and let the men know that this is not on and involve the police. Start a trail. Set a discreet camera in your window or utility box, etc.
NTA. No one should be uncomfortable in their own home.
Not the asshole. Your new neighbor sounds terrifying and the men who are taking his side are assholes. I would not even touch the wine. Who know if he's going to use that as an excuse to cross boundaries again. Maybe get some cameras too.
Not the asshole. Instead, I recommend giving them a thank you note, saying that you appreciate they recognize the validity of your feelings and that they are working to make amends. And that you carry pepper spray.
I'm a guy, and I'd be so upset if my wife ran into this kind of garbage. You're not the asshole. I don't like the whole, blame guys for everything, approach that happens sometimes, but when the alternative for a woman is to end up with some psycho hurting you. Yeah, as the guy, prove you're not a freak and get added to the, okay, side of the list, but starting out like that. No, I side with you on that, and any guy that doesn't should have his sister, daughter, wife, mom put into your shoes and then see how quickly he changes his mind.
Not the asshole. I'd consistently reply to the guys calling you a bitch. Why do you say that? What do you mean by that? That's gross thing to call a female. Why are you? Are my feelings invalid? Why is that new guy's feelings more important than mine? In fact, I think all the females should push back the men on this. It is gross, it is weird.
Why would you welcome someone who behaved that way? Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. I would not accept the wine. He is not apologizing, he is trying to placate you. The message is, here hysterical woman, this is a gift for you so you know I'm a nice guy and you are wrong. If he was sorry for bullying you, blocking you in and crossing boundaries, he would say so. He's not sorry at all, he's showing the other men that he's such a nice, easy to get along with, all-around good guy. It's all for the men and has nothing to do with trying to sort things out with you. The guy is a creep and will continue to be so. If you accept the wine, he'll believe he has permission to continue his behavior. Be very wary around him. If the other neighbor calls you a bitch again, refuse to engage with him.
Not the asshole. You don't have to be friendly to anyone you don't want to. It's not an obligation, especially if you felt unsafe and uncomfortable.
Please, you need to trust your gut. I've seen so many times women say, he's just weird, or, they're harmless, I should be nice just because. Do not listen to the tenants forcing you to be nice. You can start being nice later after you've established trust, and even then be careful. This goes for both men and women. We need to trust our instincts even if others think we're not nice enough.
Not the asshole. Fuck politeness, stay sexy and don't get murdered.
Not the asshole. Apparently I'm a bitch too because I don't like people blocking my way or staring in my windows. Maybe we are all bitches.
Not the asshole. I feel like you are actually underreacting here. I think you need to get a doorbell camera, window locks, and you need to contact the landlord of the unit and with what has happened.
This dude sounds like a serial killer. Seriously though, between the gaslighting and the refusal to respect someone's boundaries, this guy sounds like bad news. Not the asshole, and personally if he keeps up his creepy peeping Tom act, one would notify the authorities and move out ASAP. Women are conditioned in our society to be nice, but too often nice gets us killed. Be an unapologetic bitch if he's going to behave that way.
Musical notes. Don't be polite to men who creep you out. Clapping hands medium light skin tone. Clapping hands medium light skin tone. Don't be polite to men who creep you out. Clapping hands medium light skin tone. Clapping hands medium light skin tone. Don't be polite to them. It's not your job to comfort men. Don't be polite to men who creep you out. Clapping hands medium light skin tone. Clapping hands medium light skin tone. Musical notes.
Not the asshole. Friendly woman is generally synonymous with murder victim in situations like this.
Not the asshole also blocks your path. You can trust me. Yeah, okay. Definitely not trusting you.
Not the asshole. It's not your job to comfort men who creep you out.